Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL. So this is a really big patch update, so I'm going to try to speed through as much as I can. So it seems that this event is going to be quite long. It seems to be longer than our usual. Or actually that might be a 2-week one too, actually, I'm not sure. But it's very like grand because they have a new splash screen as well. So this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be really cool. I was kind of surprised that I think that's Bellona in the back there, but she's blonde. I'm actually not quite sure. I don't think it's Bellona. No, it's Litica, right? I think it's Litica. This is part of the Phantom CIC as well. So, why is Lots there? Sister. Yeah, I think that's all Phantom CIC stuff. So, okay, so yeah, so new skin, new event. I'm gonna continue down here, just go through this really quick. This is weird. When I was reading this, underwater stage, so a foam bubble takes place underwater, so you get this air bubble, alright, this air bubble icon, but I'm not quite sure what it does, because it says, note that the air bubble will not be applied again upon resurrection, but it doesn't explain to you what the air bubble does, so I was kind of confused. Like, so what? If you're resurrected without the air bubble, you can't revive? Oh, okay. So you need the air bubble to be alive? Unless you break. Okay, so you can't be okay, whatever. It's not even that important because, like, are you gonna really die on this? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. They're level 90s, these monsters here. So, you know, maybe it's really good. So, Seaside Bellona. So Seaside Bellona is kind of introduced here. So I'm thinking that Seaside Bellona, though not announced in this patch, as in like a banner, I think she might be coming next week. That's my guess, I think. Because I mean she's introduced here. It's right there in red letters. Oh yeah. Oh okay. Never mind. Yeah. So it actually says that there. So available to players via summons beginning of 8/1. So that's kind of okay. So she is, as the rumor said, that she is actually another hero, which is kind of disappointing to me. But anyways, whatever. My problem with that is that it's the same character, but you're building a brand new kit with it. But whatever. It's okay. I think she'll be good. I'm gonna be pulling for her anyways because she's awesome. Because I love Bellona as a character. Hidden achievements. I'll move down really quick. So I was looking at this artifact. It seems that you don't even need to really grind for it. This is not the challenge artifact for this week, but it doesn't seem to be that good. I can't think of any usages for it except doing some kind of special team setup for like PvE content. So I mean, just that past week, a lot of people did like, you know, showcasing like the one-shot auto Banshee runs, and they used like that Christmas artifact, a small card of miracles or whatever it's called, to like enhance like the attack or whatever, but it's like minimal benefit, but it was kind of like on a filler hero that you can swap something like that. So maybe in the future some kind of team comp that needs an extra 10 effectiveness. I can't see where this artifact would really be used, but you know, I guess it's good. I don't think this would be that useful in like PvP scenarios. So in Guild Wars and Arena, I don't think that it's usable. 10% is just way too low. You may as well like use imprints and stuff like that to be able to benefit from it. Everybody in those teams in PvP scenarios would probably be most likely running better artifacts than that, so I don't know how good that is. I don't think it's a really good one. Players may use Summer Pass during the this event. So based on this, if we just jump down really quick, so you can grind for your what's it called, the Summer Pass, or you can just purchase them. But I think most players will be doing this anyway, purchasing the Swimsuit Karin skin, either for 1800 sky stones, so that includes like all the summer passes, or you grind the summer passes regularly and then you just buy the skin itself. So whichever one like makes the most sense to you. One thing that we were speculating on is the whole skin economy. Like how are they gonna allow players to get the skins? Is it, is it through like actual money, like $5, or is it through like something obtainable within the game itself? So it's kind of good that they're starting off this trend where it seems to be just purchasable through Skystone. So that's the correct decision. It means free-to-play players will be able to do it as well. Now, albeit that they will have to, I guess, save their Skystones even more so now. But if Smilegate is implementing some sort of pity summon per banner, this is what I was saying before. Like if you're going for pity summon per banner, it will alleviate a lot of the stress for free-to-play players, because then they don't have to be like, because you don't know what the next banner is. So how do you know whether or not you're going to be saving for a specific banner like currently? So I've heard like so many players saying that, oh man, I wish I pulled Violet now, I wish I pulled Charles, but they didn't before because they were hoping for like the next banner to be good, but they had limited resources at the time. So this, if they do, okay, so that's tentative. If they do implement some sort of pity system for all banners, I think that's going to be really good, because 900 Skystones, while to some this is not too expensive, it's still like some pulls that players might need, right? So I know off the top of my head, like on my Discord, free-to-play players in the recent like Lilibet banner have been trying to get Lilibet all the way down to almost 0 Skystones. So yeah, so it's just another thing to be aware of, just to know how to spend your Skystones. And on top of that, if you grind as a free-to-play player, it's just going to be really hard to manage. We can continue down. Yeah, so I was going to mention, comment on this. I was wondering if they were introducing skins, would they have the S3 animations? And it's amazing that for a skin, so this is not even a new hero, keep that in mind. Not a new hero that you're pulling for, not like Seaside Bellona. They actually did her S3 animation. So that's really cool. I think it means that in the future, whenever there are skins available, I think a lot more people will be trying to get them, like saving for them and getting them with the Skystones needed. Because like just to be able to swap the skins and have a different S3 animation, it's just incredible. It's a lot of work that Smilegate's put into this, so I have to give them that credit. That's really awesome. Wait, what? You have to buy the pass and maybe, oh yeah, Sez's skin is already ever since the Korean Festa thing is already announced, right? So I mean, we saw the illustration, so it could be coming. But would anybody really get Sez? Would anybody really get Sez? I don't know. Anyways, they updated the UI, so you can access the skins. So I was saying this earlier. It says, yeah, the sky's the limit. It doesn't mean that Karin only has one skin. We don't know how fast they're gonna be outputting the skins though, because of course this is the first batch, so we'll have no sense of like how often they'll be releasing skins. But this just means, like, honestly, like this part of the UI on the side here, it's an infinitely scrollable list. So I mean, not only we have multiple heroes, we're gonna possibly have multiple skins. So that's really cool. And if all of them have a new S3 animation, or at least I want to say a new S3 animation, but the work put into like actually adding the hat moving along with her skirt and stuff as she's moving, it's very, very good. Very good. Those are hand-drawn animations too, so it's not easy. They have to actually like redo it. It's not like a reskin thing where they can kind of like do this for like their 3D model. They just like kind of like slap on a new sprite or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so cigarette drop rate up. I'm not gonna talk about her too much. I did some feature videos on her after she got her developer buffs. So check those out. I mean, she's a really good single target damage dealer. Single target nuker. I would say if you are a new player and you're re-rolling, cigarette is actually not terrible to have. She actually does farming quite well. Even though I didn't include this on any of the videos, but after doing some tests with like auto running, her AI is extremely smart. She uses like S1, S2, S3 really based on like how well she can kill off the enemy. She doesn't just go like S3 and then into S2 and then, you know, like she doesn't just do that. It's pretty good. Sometimes she doesn't even do the S2 or the S3. She just uses the S1 if the enemy is close to dying already. So keep that in mind. I would say that I would definitely recommend her as one of those ones that you would reroll for. If you do get cigarette and you know post a comment saying, hey, I got cigarette and like this other 4-star hero, would you keep it? I would say yes. All right, so that's my quick assessment on that. New challenge with Lilibet here, Haughty Taylor. This artifact, whew, we were just talking about this on stream before I did the recording. As health decreases, evasion and defense increases up to 40%. Now, until we can get some like data on what the thresholds are, this sort of reads like L's Fist. So L's Fist, it says like increase attack and speed up to X amount of percent as health decreases, and we have data on that, knowing that I think it's like a 33. Like a 75 or something like that. Anyways, there's 3 thresholds to it. It's like somewhere around the 70s and the 30s. As your HP goes lower, you get up to the max effect. So we don't know exactly how this will work. Tara was saying that some people were saying it could be as low as 50%. So once you get to 50% health, it's 40% evasion and defense. So this could be possibly a new Violet artifact. Violet plus a 35 plus this up to 40 plus an 8 cards passive of 15% gives him a 90% evasion rate. That's insane. Although I will have to say that I kind of prefer like Dreamblade still. Or is it, what is it called? Yeah, Dreamblade. Still more. It depends on I guess the type of enemies I'm countering. Like, so for example, for Dizzy, I would prefer like Moonblade more. If she doesn't run Isle of Violin, he would be able to counter with an attack buff up, right? As long as his passive is up. So you have that 35% with Moonblade at max, it's just 20, it's 55. Plus that she'll always miss for 50%. He'll always be able to hit her, but if she doesn't run Isle of Violin, he might have an attack buff, and even if she does run Isle of Violin, and it doesn't proc, he'll still run the attack buff and hits harder. So I think it depends, but definitely a really good artifact. Like compared to the summer one, this is actually usable. This is of course a Thief exclusive, so keep that in mind. But it can be usable, I think, for other ones as well. I just can't think of anyone on the top of my head. If this is a Violet artifact though, I would say that Violet's focus in terms of stats would definitely need a lot more HP than a lot of people running. I've recently seen like some Violets run like 11,000, 12,000 HP, but with high damage. You probably need more HP. Like I always say, like 15,000, 16,000 HP as much as possible if you plan to use this one as his main, I think. But it does depend, I think, on the thresholds of the HP and, you know, what is the HP threshold that will grant you the maximum amount. So in this case, I would say this artifact is grindable for at least 1 max limit break, but I might go for 2. I might actually go for 2. Just in case some you know, because evasion is just a mechanic, so more likely than not in the future other hero might get evasion too, and if that might be a thief, I think that might work. Oh, you guys are thinking BBK and Biken? Counter BBK with this would be good. Ooh, Interesting. You wouldn't go for the Moonblade because the Moonblade on counter would still give you that attack buff. That's a lot more healing though. But yeah, 20% versus, and it depends on if you get hit. So I wonder how much evasion. Actually, my question would be, how much evasion do you get when you start off? Let's say, like, does L's Fist apply at 100% HP? I don't think so. So it doesn't apply on the first hit. The defense up is probably more important. I see. Actually, no, that causes a problem. I remember L's Fist doesn't proc until you hit the first threshold. So if this is the case, having this on Violet means Violet's an easy nuke. That means not only you have to have Violet high HP, you have to have him really fast. Because like Moonblade at least gives you that innate 20% evasion passive before he even sets up his S2. But if this works like L's Fist, the proc doesn't happen until your health is decreased, so he's easily one-shottable. I'm gonna take a step back and say that this might not be as good as I thought. Interesting. But it does depend. We need more data on how it's actually proccing. But if it is like L's Fist, then what I just said is true. He wouldn't have any evasion until he gets his S2. Clear 10 steps. So yeah, I'll probably still go for 2, just in case it becomes good. The biggest one I regret is Portrait of Saviors. So Portrait of Savior, I only farmed up to 2 max limit break, but I want more than that now. I want 4 at least, but too bad. Guilty Gear, come back! We need Guilty Gear back. With the same artifact. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, 10 times you get the one for sure. Clear health difficulty, you get Gold Transmit Stone. So this is cool. Especially change the Butcher. So his name is now Chaos Inquisitor. Before Awakening, so after the Awakening, if the enemy is buffed, he has a 50% chance to activate Heavy Strike. So his S1, which has a % chance to proc to remove 2 debuffs. Okay. He is a knight, so I was trying to compare him with Charles, but he's not comparable. It's not the same. It's not the same whatsoever. His S1 does only 2 debuffs, but Charles can strip all buffs. Sorry, these spells only up to 2 buffs, but Charles can strip all buffs on his S2. But of course he's a 3-star, so there's that as well. So you really can't compare them that way. The specially changed quest seems to be pretty easy. I think Doppels was the one that told me that you have to eliminate 25 enemies in the Rose Apostles Meeting Hall in Labyrinth. That's Labyrinth 1, which is easy because even if you cap morale, you can like clear that map fully. Now whether or not you get 25 in one abyss, like Labyrinth pass compass, I'm not quite sure, but I mean it's not too terrible. It's not too terrible. I think I'm gonna try to get him as soon as he's released, so after the patch, I believe. I was saying this though, his illustration on the right is very cool. Like it's very cool, a lot of potential. But then his sprite on the left looks really ugly. I was saying that it looks like he sits on a toilet, but it's a very awkward pose for him to hold. Like if you're holding that big sword, you're not gonna be in that pose. Like at least have something like, I don't know, Axeman specialty change. Like his sprite looked really cool. Like he just looked like jacked, He looked like Bane from Bane from Batman. But this, I don't know, he just looks really weird. But whatever, I can't complain if he's actually good. Rune enhancement results, so it doesn't seem that he really needs that much effectiveness. If I remember correctly, he actually has innate effectiveness, but I'm too lazy to go into the journal to check this out. But I remember he has innate effectiveness, like something like 18%. But he has a 10% additional and another 15%. So it kind of alleviates you having to use like hit sets or even effectiveness rings. But I don't think you would ever really need to give it to him with all these his skill tree. Increases skill effect by chance by 10%. I have no idea what the context is for this. Like, is this the S1? I would assume so. Like, it can't be the S2. That would just be too OP. And it doesn't seem that there's any improvement on his S2 based on this. So his S2 is basically has threshold damage, so you can't exceed an X amount of HP. If it's unmolded, it's 50%. If you max mold, it's up to 35%. You can't exceed 35% of his max HP. So like if someone like Luna does like a nuke on him, he can't die in one shot. It's like guaranteed, but only on that turn though. So I mean, I don't know what happens if someone dual attacks you. I don't think it counts for the turn, so I don't think you could go past it. He's gonna be good for bosses that need constant debuffs. So that was like Automaton Tower 100. Hey, actually that might not be bad. And he can't die right away. Huh. That's true. Combat readiness increased by 20%. So again, no context to this. Like someone like Righteous Thief Ruzid, like Clury, they all have combat readiness increased by 20% and X amount of percent, but it's based on a certain skill used. I have no context to this. I don't know what affects it. Is it turn based? Is it skill based? And which skill? So we'll have to see. But increased damage dealt by 5%. Again, is that all like generic? I assume so because this says Preach. So Preach is his S3. So increases damage dealt by his S3 by 12%. Increases amount recovered, so HP recovered. So it's HP recovered based on lost health. Or sorry, based on damage dealt. But the more health you have lost, the more damage you do. So this could be good. Self-sustaining knight. Preach by 10%. Health increases by 10%, which is not that much. I would assume that's a base HP. So I think he's about like 4,400 HP. Very low for a knight. So you're looking at maybe like almost 5,000 HP. That's it. Increases the chance of activating heavy strike from Preach up to 50%. So I confirmed this with the guys on stream as well. So it's up to 100%. So the innate is 50% if they're buffed. So this increases up to 100% if they're buffed. So easily, obviously, you want to get this 100%, and then based on your effectiveness. Abyss Guide added. I'm gonna skip this. I never really I don't think I really cared about this before. For the other modes like the hunts and stuff, the statistic one just shows you like what kind of teams are used for whatever floor. Could be useful, but it might not be. Content update 2. This is the big kablamo, man. This is the one that blew my mind. So you can now manage equipment, and like it's accessible anywhere. Okay, so in your inventory you can you're accessible from straight from the inventory and then into also the hero details window. This, I was like looking at this for a while, and I was like looking at it, and I was trying to interpret what this was until I realized this is a freaking gear calculator within the game itself. Like, wow, it's so awesome. I was saying this and I admit this on stream, and a couple guys admit that they did the same thing as me. So thanks guys, you guys helped me feel better. Because sometimes I'm lazy to, cause I'm on my mobile, I'm playing Epic 7, and I'm thinking, hey, I got this piece of gear, it's got a bit more crit damage, it's got a bit less attack, but I wonder if this will make my hero better, right? So, instead of, going onto like a web page or whatnot, or even on my mobile, like going into some gear calculator, again, like from the community, awesome work, you guys did awesome jobs like making calculators and stuff. Although some of them had like bugs and broken whatever. Instead of doing that, I just spent like 100,000 gold like swapping like 2 epic weapons, in and out. Swap it in, oh crap, it's not as good as I thought, swap it back, and there goes my gold. So although in those moments I only shake fist at myself saying that why didn't I just look into the gear calculator? Now we actually have this, so there's actually no excuse for you to actually make a mistake. You can literally like swap in the gear to see what improvements, and then you can make the change in like a batch, right? So now it's gonna be insane. Now imagine this on free equip events, and also now that since I kind of like made a formal announcement yesterday, account reviews are gonna be great. This I just read Tara's comment. I'm gonna read that later. Account reviews are gonna be great, and this is gonna be like really cool because not only does like the content creator, if they do account reviews, be able to like, you know, see whether or not these improvements are good like on the fly, but this will also help like the players that are watching, like maybe new players that are watching, to see why certain stats are better for some reason. So like if you have like, let's say less crit damage but like you have more crit chance in this build, like you'll be able to see like side by side stat comparisons with very nice highlights, like blue for decrease and orange for increase and stuff like that. It's gonna be really cool. I love this so much. This is what I said, man. Like a couple months ago I made the top 10, you know, reasons why I play Epic 7, and one of the reasons why I said is like their UI is so good. And this is still good. Not only the function, the UI, like the entire like interface design is very, very, very intuitive. I know exactly what to do right away. Although you know, some gamers would just say, well, Jagan, you just played 2 little games, you see this all the time. I get it, but this is still really good. Still have to give them the credit here. Set main option set to, oh wow, yeah, man, this is awesome, man. Main option and 2 substats can be filtered in this menu. Wow. that's great. That's great. Terror said before why I laughed. He said, in before Jagan is too lazy to click into this. I'm not gonna read the second part. Man. Alright, let's try. Oh wait, one thing. So yeah, Arena Season 2 closing information. So you guys got the dates there. I'm just gonna quickly sum up what's said. Basically, if you are a Season 2 player, you haven't had the time to actually get the Season 2 equipment. So that includes, I believe, the slate, the unknown slate, which is a free imprint for any hero. The gear, the 88 gear, you can still get them, but apparently at a more expensive price, because you can only use conquest points, and glory crest will no longer be counted in those. Glory crest after the season though will be converted to conquest points at a 5-to-1 ratio. So whatever is left over, and most likely if you are an arena player, you have leftovers of glory crest, so they're going to be returned to in conquest points, so that's kind of good. I'll have to check later how much I have. So season 3, it doesn't seem that it only seems that we're gonna have new frames, so no new equipment for season 3. So maybe they're gonna be doing like, maybe, I don't know, new equipment in season 4. I'm not quite sure. So the ladder is gonna be reset. All right, so anyways, the regulars are gonna climb back up to legend, and then all of us here, players that don't really care, will still remain where we are. Hero Recall says, this is 100%, like, I'm just gonna do it, you know? Yes, Says had its moment to shine. Early in game, he's a really good farmer. He still remains a pretty good farmer. I would still say that I prefer Vildred as a farmer more, because Vildred just has way more, like, farming skills. So comparing Says to Vildred, even though they're different elements, I would still prefer Vildred hands down, even against fire. You know, just bring another hero maybe, but Says, I'm gonna recall him because mainly, again, all my heroes are built for GVG or PvP if I can, and he holds too many Molagora. So ever since the Wind Rider nerf, I believe Smugget has realized that then Says kind of like fell off the map. So, you know, giving us an option to recall is a good thing. Finally get those back. I invested in them really early on in the game when I didn't even know, you know, what I should be investing in. I think mine is like +5, +3, +4. My S1 was maxed just because I used them for farming. I didn't know what I was doing. But anyways, I'm glad I can get it all back. This is just telling you. So other improvements, not much. I think this is gonna be, I'm gonna do this, all right? So for those of you who have been following me for a while, I know that, you know, on streams and premieres, you guys are saying that, hey, have you done 100 yet? Even during the free equip event, I tried, and I just got too frustrated. I almost went like full bald, so like pulled out all my hair. So this is Automaton Tower nerf. So for this last week, guys, this is the last week. All right. So if you haven't done this, I mean, this is the time, man. You got to do it. Stigma is usable on all floors. All floors. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it, man. I'm just gonna finish this off because that boss, man. Oh man. And then the stats on the monsters. So there's basically one like major nerf, and then you can still weaken them even more. So no shame, man. I don't care, man. I just want those ML summons. I just want those ML summons. I'm not ashamed. So basically, I think then from this point forward, in August, Automaton Tower, the effects will be applied. So like the Sigma is usable for all floors. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be applied. It's just gonna be a change. So yes, so that's pretty much it. I think this sanctuary, you get to lock and sell items immediately. Nice to have. Not something I needed, but it's nice to have. If you're crafting like a mass amount, it's really good to be able to lock right away, because then later when you're sorting and when you're selling stuff, you know exactly what you wanted to sell and what you didn't. So once you click the sell button, all those ones that are not dimmed back are gonna be lit up like a Christmas tree, and then you can quickly sell them. So I mean, that's kind of good. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Everything else is like little UI changes, little improvements. Love it. You know, they're continually doing a good job. So you know, yeah, this patch is gonna be big. So I'm gonna I think I'm gonna end this. There's one thing that I will note that was one of the notes. Actually, I'm gonna bring it up. I may as well. It's just the Fallen Cecilia summon period has been extended because they wanted to actually I guess they wanted to make sure we know about, you know, what heroes are actually being, like, you know, rebalanced, quote unquote, rebalanced or nerfed. The ML ones, specifically ML 5 stars. So I think it would have an effect on ML Ravi, possibly. So I do believe this is the reason why they are extending it. I mean, they say this sort of that they're gonna give this, you know, some improved summon system and stuff like that. So they wanted to delay it. I guess it's better for all of us, to be honest. I would say that's not a salty thing, even if you wanted ML Ravi. It's a good thing that they're delaying it, because I would prefer to not have ML Ravi in the pool yet, because I get tempted to summon, but I'd rather know what's gonna happen first. So yeah, so we'll see. It seems that end of July, so that is next week. So by next week we will know, you know, all these changes that we're all kind of panicking about or speculating about. We'll know for sure. So anyways, I'm gonna end this session of RBTL here. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.